Welcome to the Lord for More. Of course, this is your girl, Renika Moore, and have the wonderful motivation and so much more. Motivational speaker and all that plus more. Miss Shameka here with me.
Yes,
Hello there, darling.
What's up, honey? What's up? I appreciate you so much for allowing me to come here to even speak with you, to talk with you. You know, it is an amazing opportunity, so I'm just very appreciative.
I thank you for sharing your time with me today. You are awesome, and I know time is of the essence, so thank you for sharing that with me.
Definitely.
So, as we do on every episode, we start with the more bets. So this is just like a little icebreaker.
Okay.
I get everybody every time.
I know. I'm like, okay.
So you just pull a tab and, you just either answer the question or you respond to the statement. So let's see what the cards have in store.
Let's see, y'all. Let's see. Let's pull this one right here.
It was calling your name, huh?
Yeah. Okay, my question is, do I prefer makeup or no makeup? Yes, I'm a very natural person. So unless I'm going somewhere special, unless I'm going out where I feel like it's time to doll up, more than likely you'll see me with some lip gloss and maybe some lashes. That'd be the most. That's my makeup.
And baby, she a natural beauty anyway. She don't need it. Boom.
Yeah, that's my. And I would pull this one.
There you go. See, you was calling your name, girl.
Yeah,
calling your
definitely.
name. So we have to get into it. So tell us, who is this woman who wears multiple hats, known as Miss Lady Queen?
Well, first, definitely off top, always a person that loves God. I grew up as a PK, right? Mm-hmm. And growing up in church, even though I have wonderful parents, mm-hmm. but a lot of times the PKs get kind of forgotten about, and I wasn't your average PK. Like I wasn't a wild one.
Okay,
but,
that's the answer.
I wasn't a wild one. I was actually very quiet, very green. I'm grateful to the way my parents allowed me to grow up. But unfortunately, even in that, because I saw how well my parents' marriage was and everything, I wanted that. Mm-hmm. So I found myself looking for love, and it wasn't the best thing, especially, because in my mindset, he was a preacher's kid. I'm a preacher's kid.
It's gonna work.
Yeah.
It's gonna work.
It's supposed to work.
Yeah.
Well, at least I thought it was.
Yeah.
But that's where actually I discovered that, number one, I was not ready for marriage. But, well, my heart, I wanted it. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't what it seemed, He was going through some mental things, and he had lost his mother at the age of 12. So he had a lot of issues of his father not really being there. He was there, but it was always church. Mm-hmm. That's what, whenever you start pastoring church, that's what they do church. Mm-hmm. And so with us getting together, and this was his second marriage, I thought it was going to all be good, but found myself where's my husband? Finding out that there was some infidelity involved, and mm-hmm. there was another baby, and already I was going through all types of abuse. When I tell y'all, it was so bad, I would go to sleep crying, and before I could open up my eyes again, I was crying again. That's how you know you in hell.
Wow. Okay.
That's how you know, like, you in straight up hell. And so I remember, people will tell you, especially because I started going to the faith house, and they will tell you with a victim, that person will leave about 11 times before they say enough is enough. Mm-hmm. And if they make it out safely, mm-hmm. And so I was probably on my 11th time, mm-hmm. But it was just something that I'm like, God, I don't want to live like this,
mm-hmm.
You
deserve better. Yeah.
And even though I knew that I deserve better, because my dad treated me like, a princess. My dad treated me good. Like, I have a good father,
mm-hmm.
and so I knew the way I was supposed to be treated. But you know how, especially growing up in church, and my church girls will understand this, you know how, like, you a good girl, but you want somebody that's on the
edge. You want love.
Yeah, a little rough, but still can hang with the church folks, but still a little rough. That's what I wanted, and that's what I saw in him.
Yeah.
You know, and then plus he was a musician, so I was, I thought I had the whole package, not knowing that I would like seriously go through some stuff that was very hard for me to deal with, mentally, emotionally, even I understand people say a lot of times self-worth, but your significant other can actually help you with your self-worth or bring it down. And definitely he was one that brought it down. So I went through emotional abuse, verbal abuse, mental abuse, any abuse, financial abuse, sexual abuse, any abuse you can think of, I went through.
Wow.
And so one day I was sitting on the bed, and understand by this time I had 3 children. My baby was like 1 going on 2. I had sat her on the bed. I had cleaned up the room that day, and it was all nice and clean and bed fixed. Had my baby sitting on the bed, and he had just got through cursing me out in front of one of his relatives because one of his relatives moved in. And like he was booting up like he was about to fight, and I'm like, okay, like we doing this in front of family now. We got an issue.
Carried away.
And I'm not a small chick, but the thing is, a man's strength is a lot different.
Yeah.
But so I took my baby. She was sitting on the bed with me, and I remember telling God, I said, okay, God, I done had enough. But I want to know this time that if I leave, I will never come back. And because I was so fed up, and I was like, God, give me a sign. And listen, I was praying and I was crying, and like I tell people, anytime you want to know something, if you ask God, He'll tell you. Yeah, He'll tell you.
You just have to listen, because
exactly.
I ask a lot of things. I'm like, dang, where's the answer?
Well, sometimes the answer comes in a way we didn't expect to.
Okay.
So we just got to keep our eyes open, and that's what happened. What happened was I was sitting on the bed and I was like, God, I want to know that I'm never coming back. And I'm saying all the things. Within 3 seconds, this joker kicked down the door. Pieces of wood flying all over the place.
Oh, wow.
And so I was like, okay, Jesus, I heard, I guess that's my sign. I picked up my baby, and, I am that mother that I would never leave my kids behind. If someone ever say, oh, Shameka shot out and look it, no, I would never leave my kids behind. And so I said, okay, God, if you can just help me get my babies in the car, I'll never come back. So he had left walking, and I started putting my because I had 3 kids all under the age of 5 now. 3 kids all under the age of 5. So I started buckling them up, getting them in, because I had 3 kids in car seats, buckling them up. I see him walking back down the street, and I'm like, okay. And I was like, I'm prepared to leave it all behind. Like I'm okay with that. I get my last baby in the car seat, and I see the back trunk open. Well, he starts throwing all my stuff on the ground, and he was like, just let me get my stuff. I'm like, okay, cool. Because he just thinks, I guess it's another time. He doesn't think I had made up in my mind. So I just slowly pick up my stuff. I don't say anything. I don't fuss. Put my stuff back in. I remember looking in the rearview mirror that day and saying, I will never be back there. And it was almost like this light switch just went on. Because I was so tired of just being mistreated, and I tell people all the time, even though we talk about a lot of physical abuse and you can see the bruises, I believe mental and emotional abuse is 10 times worse, because guess what? People can't see the abuse you're going through, so they can't rescue you from it. So you can actually stay a lot longer than necessary, because if, like, for example, if my parents saw I had bruises all over the place, they'd be like, oh no, it's time to go, it's time to leave. But I can smile and you not know inside I'm crying. So I can actually stay in that abusive situation a lot longer because it's emotional and verbal. But I was so cut up and so bruised and just bleeding internally. But that day I was like, God, I never want to come back. And from that day on, I said, enough is enough. I left, not knowing that I was 3 months pregnant now with our 4th child. So now I'm going to have 4 kids. My baby would have, under the age of 5. And so, but when I tell you, like, God worked everything out, like He worked everything out because of everything I've been through. And a lot of people say, okay, well, how can you be grateful for the stuff that you've been through? Because it's created who I am today. So even though it was painful, even though it was messed up, even though it was all that stuff, I'm still grateful for it,
That's admirable, my gosh. Wow.
Yes, ma'am.
You are strong. Just know that.
But the thing is, though, I want you to think about that, because a lot of times you say, okay, whenever you're in a situation you feel so weak because you can't leave. You want them to love you the way you love them, because I was in love with them. I would have did anything for this dude, you know, and so you wanted them to love you that way. So you would stay a lot longer, not knowing that there's something greater down the road, because even now God allowed me to get remarried and stuff. And even
there you go.
When I tell you, that's how I know your spouse can help you with your self-worth.
Yeah.
Because even like sometimes when I'm like, man, this don't look right, I don't look right, this, my husband now is like, what are you talking about? Like that.
They never see it, huh?
Yeah, you don't see my flaws. Like,
right.
you know, he like in love with my flaws. And that's what, you know, that's why I say you really have to be careful how you treat people, you know, especially if you say you love them. You really have to be careful of how you treat people, because even though it's self-esteem, I can either help your self-esteem or I can help you pull it down, you know? Definitely.
That's the word, y'all. That's a true word.
Yes, ma'am.
My gosh, Miss Lady Queen is coming with the jewels. You dropping jewels, and
yes, ma'am.
You giving us a different perspective on care, caring for yourself, self-love, self-worth, knowing your self-worth, and getting into that. I want to talk about your purpose, because I know even now, like, you always talking about walking in your purpose today. Like, you're big on motivational speaking, things like that. So tell us about, how did you find your purpose? I know this is your past was just the beginning of who you are today.
With that, you know, I was a paramedic for 12 years. So I ended up losing my job with this company, and it made no sense. And I kept telling my employer that. I was like, this makes no sense. Like, why you're letting me go? It makes no sense. And not knowing that God was like laying everything out for me. But I ended up getting a better job paying double than what I was getting.
There you go.
So,
God, look at that.
But the thing is, I would have to travel a little bit. But like I said, God knows what he's doing. You know, I know we've all heard a lot of people say that when you keep waking up at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, God's trying to talk to you. God's trying to talk to you. So I was driving at that time, because I would have to leave at 3:30 in the morning to make it to my job at 5. So
It's a good drive.
So it's a good,
That's a good
yeah.
drive.
And so the thing was, half of the time I was praying, God, keep me awake on this road, because so I had a lot of time to spend with God. And then one day I seriously heard, just straight up, like me and you talking, this will be your last month at this job. And I was like, but God, I completely understand. Like, I make the bulk of the money, you know, between me and my husband. I have 5 kids now, because me and my husband had a child together. And how could I do this? But I know what he told me. Like, I just knew. And so I was like, okay, I'm doing it. I gave my
gotta
boss,
rock with it, huh?
Yeah,
That's what you say.
Let's do this.
That's what you say.
Yeah. So and I had been asking to help my faith grow. So I'm like, let's do this. So I tell my boss, and he was like, are you sure? You know, I really would love for you to stay. I'm like, yes, sir. I had been there for 2 years, you know, and I'm like, yes, sir. It's definitely time for me to go. He's like, all right, I'll put you full-time. I'm part-time. And I'm like, no, sir. Like, this will be good.
He was trying to work with you, because he didn't want to let you go.
Exactly. But whenever God, like, started putting on my heart, like, to talk to people via Facebook Live, via YouTube, and I'm like, God, I stutter. Like, I seriously stutter. I stumble over words.
Girl, I ain't never seen you stutter. So it must be in the beginning to the stages, or what?
Oh, no, I still stutter.
Oh, I overlooked that. What you're saying is just so impactful.
Yeah. And but the thing is, that's what it is. It was a difference, like, with the passion behind it. So even though, and this is how I looked at it, because for a while I struggled. I even had to, like, cover the numbers so I didn't see whether somebody was watching or not, because it would make my heart race, you know. Even now, you know, you still get a little nervous, but you know, when he told me I had to do that, I'm like, God, like, I stutter, I don't talk well, you know, the words that I say might not be the right words, and I just felt like he wanted me to trust him. Like, just trust me, I'll do this. And so that's what I started doing. And what I realized is, like, there's 13 bestseller motivational books. All of them are written off of a scripture, and they just twist it. So, you know, church has always been a part of my life, because I grew up in church. And so the way I started reading the Bible was completely different from a lot of other people, you know. And the reason why I say that is because a lot of times people get caught up in religion, and, oh, you know, you're this, so you're going to hell, or you're this, but yet when I read the word, it was actually, even, sin is sin. Don't religious folks, if you're watching, please don't come after me. Not today.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Not today.
Don't do it.
But I just really realized that God wanted me to help the average person that is like, look, I'm a good person. I want to do right. I'm not perfect, but I want to do right. And God wanted me to help that person. So I started discovering, actually, my father started talking about the Black history of the Bible.
Okay.
And so I started seeing myself a lot different. And that's when I started to wear the natural hair, and I started to appreciate myself more. And the more I discovered me, because I was actually talking to God a lot more, the more I became more confident, and the more I appreciated my skin and who I was. So this is finding the self-love. Because remember, I went through 10 years of being verbally and mentally abused. And so just discovering that, and I was like, man, I'm a queen.
Miss Lady Queen. Hello, here's the name. Huh?
Exactly.
Hello,
So I'm like, you know what? I'm a boss. And it was just stepping into that. And that's how I seriously talk to myself. Like, no lie.
I love it.
Like, I seriously,
it's
I'm
important,
I'm a boss. And I'm like, you know what? I'm seriously going to do this thing wholeheartedly, whatever I can do, whatever I can learn. And I just truly believe, like, for example, there's a part in the Bible where it talks about what we call 4 lepers. Now, understand, in the Bible, when there was leprosy, they were considered unclean, dirty. But in a part of the Bible, it talks about a place where God, they were like, look, we're dying. Because I was dying spiritually. Like, I was seriously dying spiritually. And they're like, we're dying. And he was like, we can go back to our enemies. No, we can go back to the city, which I would consider the church, but they're in lack too. Or we can go to our enemies because they have an abundance, and we can start to, see if we can beg for help. And so they went, and God allowed them to hear a great army. And they were able to reap like an abundance, a harvest. And then so they were like, you know what, let's not keep it to ourselves. Let's go back to the church and tell the church. But because of the way the church is, they were like, oh, no, they're lepers, they're dirty, they're dirty. And they were seeing it like that. Well, that was one of the first things that God revealed to me, that not everybody's going to take my story. Not everybody's going to listen to me because they see me as maybe not having it all together. They see me as, well, how you going to tell me? And you
doing this.
You dirty.
Yeah.
Like that. But that helped me see that, you know what? Whoever I'm meant for, who
gonna rock with you.
Exactly. And like, I'm okay with that. And you gotta be okay with, if they not for you, it's all good. Because let me tell you, some people will stand around in your circle, but they not in your corner. They only trying to see what you doing, and I've learned that, and I've learned to not take it to heart, because of the fact is, maybe they might be changed by something they see me do. I'm not going to claim perfection, because by no means am I perfect. I don't even attempt to be perfect, because I would fail and I'd probably discourage myself. By no means am I perfect. I just try to do right. I just try to please God. I just try to make sure I treat other people the way I want to be treated, and so that's what it's been, just actually really searching for myself and asking God to even reveal to me what it means.
Yes. And then just what you're saying, whatever you say might not appeal to somebody, but it's gonna reach somebody.
Exactly.
At the end of the day, it's gonna reach somebody, and that goes back into go ahead.
But that means we not meant for everybody.
Yeah, and it's okay.
Some people like tea, some people like coffee. I'm okay with that. I might be the tea, and they like coffee. I'm okay with that. And so that's where I had to get my mindset, and not that I don't care about what other people say, and I just do whatever. But the thing is, at the end of the day, what other people say does not determine how great I'm gonna be. So just realizing that and understanding who I am.
And you what? Miss Lady Queen.
Exactly.
Hello.
Take that.
And just going into that, and just building off of what you're saying, you are to me, like whenever I look at your videos, you're a motivational speaker. So basically what really prompted you to go full force in your speaking, your motivational speaking and all of that?
Yeah, and it was just that, me seriously, the more that I prayed, the more that I would, and a lot of times we call it our gut feeling, but I really believe that's just God telling us, look out, because listen, we all have a gift. Every single one of us. When God put us here on this earth, he like implanted a seed inside of us. Now you get to determine whether you water that seed to make it grow to whatever your gift is. Because some people are amazing motivational speakers. Some people just have an amazing administrative gift. Some people have an amazing help gift. You know, different types of gifts depending on what seed was put inside of you. So it's just actually discovering that gift and saying, you know what? And you have to ask yourself, what would you do for free without getting paid, but still continue to do it because you love it? And that's why, like, even I started on the YouTube channel, I started talking because it was the fact that I do this anyway.
Yeah.
You know,
you love it.
Yeah,
this
exactly.
This is who you are.
Exactly. This is what I do. So, just realizing that, like, you know what, I would do this, and this is what it is. I love to see people smile. I love to remind people, you know what, like, you a beast, like you are amazing, like
you're a boss, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I'm like, girl, like, even you, sis, you doing your thing. Like, I love that, to see people work in their God-given gift and begin to flourish off of it. What we realize is that God has given every one of us a seed. He's implanted inside, but you get to determine, and that's why I say we actually have a lot more power than we even know. You get to determine whether you're going to nurture that seed. You know, every day doing the lives, every day getting on and talking to someone, even if you're like, what if somebody doesn't watch? You know, because there's been a lot of videos where I go back and look, you know, and stuff, and I'm like, man, I wish I could have impacted more people, you know. But the thing is, at the end of the day, I do it because there might be that one lady out there that has been in an abusive relationship, that has been hurt so many times, has kids, and just wants to be the best mom she can be, but doesn't know how. That's who I do it for, because it ends up, and what's great about it is when that one person contacts you and it's like, you know, I've been watching your lives for like a minute, and I want to tell you thank you because it helped save my life. You know, and so I've had that happen. I'm like, man,
see,
that's who
to
I
me,
do that for.
that's better than even money.
Yeah,
that you really impacted somebody. You changed. You could have, like she said, you saved her life. You can't put a price on that.
Exactly.
At all.
And see, as a matter of fact, another sister queen, because like I told you, I went through abuse, so I had to go like through court stuff and like just trying to separate, period. Like 3 years later, another queen called me. Now hers was a little worse than mine, but I knew the exact steps to help her make in order to get free. And so I realized, and I even told her, I said, you know what I went through in my previous relationship, it wasn't for me, it was for you, because I would need to help you to make sure that you and your daughter are safe. You know, and so that's what it is. Everything we go through, whatever type of traumatic thing that is happening in your life, it's not for you. And you kind of say, well, why did it happen to me? But it's, you know how like the second greatest commandment in the Bible is to love your neighbor as yourself. You know, because of the fact is, because of what I went through, now believe me, at the time it looked very big, it was huge, but now I look back and I'm like, man, that was nothing. Like, that was something small. And so, you know, it kind of reminds me of that story where you know, the kid was looking up at the airplanes with his dad, and he was like, Dad, the airplane's so small. And then he brings him to the airport, and he was like, wow, the airplane's so big. And he was like, because of the fact is, the closer you are to a problem, to a situation, the bigger it looks. And so I've been able to,
I love that analogy. Yeah.
So I've been able to completely remove myself to where I'm like, you know what, it's all good. You know, it's all good. Like, I'm not even mad. Like, and just to show you how much I was delivered from that, even though I had went through all that, I knew he didn't have a job. I was still bringing him food, but I didn't want it like that. I was still showing godly love to him because I'm like, I know you need, but I don't want you like that. You know, and so I was able to remove myself. But even with all that, to be able to help that queen survive that issue, but because of what I had went through, I was able to help get her out to where she could safely get to a shelter where no one would know where she was and stuff like that. So it's not for us that we go through the stuff that we go through. It's actually for someone else.
Wow. Miss Lady Queen.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for sharing all of this with us. And I also want to get into, I know you're talking about your sister queens. You know, I know you Miss Lady Queen, but I love that you call everybody you connect with a queen as well. So that's really, really sweet. So I definitely want to dabble into, you know, adding on to, you know, your sister queens. Networking is a big part of your purpose as well, I've noticed. So tell me, you know, what does networking, why is that so important to you?
Well, see, networking is important to me because unless I start to reach out to people, they can't hear my story to help set them free. How do we know unless that we start to reach out to each other? Because guess what? Even though, and no matter what level you're on, understand I have a gift. But guess what? Your gift could actually accent my gift. My gift could actually accent your gift.
I love it.
But how do we know unless we start to collaborate with each other? And unfortunately, in the world we have, where some sister queens have not came to that level yet and realize none of this is a competition. Zero. The only competition is me versus me, and that's mentally.
Yep.
You know, there's zero competition because whoever you're meant to talk to, I wouldn't even be able to peak game. Like, I wouldn't even be able to do what you do to the people that you're called to. And you know, and so once you get that confidence like that, realizing that, you know what I do, nobody else can do in the way that I can do it. What she does, what Sister Queen does, what you do, no one else can do what you're called to do. No matter if they try. If it's meant for you, it is for you.
Amen.
You know, so
that.
you don't ever have to worry about anybody else trying to, she trying to copy me. Well, good. You know what? Then you should pat yourself in the back because you're doing something right. I want people to say, you know what? Because she did it, I'm able to do this. Like, we should definitely, especially, and you know, I say this a lot, and I have nothing against nobody. I love everyone, but I am definitely, I want to be that woman that helps my sisters of color because we've lost who we are. And because we don't know who we are, we don't become who we're supposed to be. Because I don't know, you know, I understand, you know, my great-grandmother and where they came from. But before the slavery, before all that, we were kings and queens. And when you start to mentally realize how much you're worth and how God looks at you, you will actually, like, just begin to step into a place that you've never been before. You'll begin to realize that you've things that you've never realized before. But the thing is, it's all about discovering who you are spiritually, because we're spiritual beings having an earthly experience. So if you discover who you are spiritually, then actually from there you can live the life you were intended to live. Because I'm telling you, like, and I love talking about this, so I have to watch how much I go into it. But once you just discover who you are, then you realize, you know what? I am worth so much more than I've actually even placed myself. Like, I'm worth so much more than that. And then once you do that, you actually begin to seriously discover this greatness that's inside of you. You know, we talk about, you know, when Jesus says, I am who I say I am who I say I am. She is who she says she is. So if I continue to say I'm powerful, I'm wonderful, you know, I'm meant to do great things, guess what? My body's looking to agree with itself. It's going to start looking for opportunities where I'm powerful, I'm amazing, I do great things. You know, my body's, because science lines up with all that. It's, you know, it's called the reticular activation system, where, for example, let's just say you've been looking at a car, you went to a lot, all of a sudden you'll start seeing them cars on the road.
I ain't gonna lie, I just got a new car. It's like, I'm seeing it on the
exactly.
You know? That's crazy.
Yeah. So science lines up with all this. It's called the reticular activation system. Your body wants to agree with itself. So because you've put yourself in a place to have that vehicle, now your body's looking for that vehicle without you purposefully doing it.
Yeah.
So imagine if you do the exact same thing for I'm powerful, I'm magnificent. And that's why affirmations are so important, because your body's going to start to look for opportunities to be powerful, to be amazing, to be great, whether it be on a job, whether it be standing up for something you truly believe in, whatever it might be. Your body is going to start to look for those things because your body wants to agree with itself. You know, so it lines up with science, and that's why it's so powerful to continue to say you're powerful, you're amazing, you're wonderful. You know, my sister queen doing her thing, you know, and then the more you begin actually to point out other people's gifts, the more in yourself, like, the insecurities start to disappear, because you realize, you know what, she doing her thing, that means I'm close around it. I'm doing my thing too. You know,
we're doing it together. Yes.
Exactly. So that's what you start to look for. So that's why networking is so important, because you never know what open opportunity or what open door that your sister queen or brother king might have that you need access to. But all you got to do is talk. All you got to do is
speak up.
Yeah, be friendly. Let's talk. Let's collaborate. You know. So that's what it's about.
I love it, and it shows. Like every picture, everything you post out, like, you have a beautiful smile, and I can tell you just love it. And I'm just really honored to just even be on this bench with you, just talking and sharing everything. You just keep shining, girl. Because God, you know, He has blessed you. So
thank you so much.
And I know y'all want more of her. So you guys remember, everything dealing with Miss Lady Queen is gonna be down below. You guys can subscribe to her YouTube channel. Follow her on Facebook. She does lives. She has an Instagram. You guys, please support her. And I'm telling you, you guys will not be disappointed. So definitely keep up with Miss Lady Queen.
Definitely.
And as we wrap up this session, this episode, we always do a toast. And you can, share any wisdom, anything you want to get off your chest, you can share with the crowd. So what I'm going to do now is pour us our first toast.
Definitely. And I got something special too for y'all.
Oh, keep your eyes and ears open.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so Miss Lady Queen, you have the floor.
Okay, listen. Because I'm about all of us being great. But in order to be great, sometimes you have to open your eyes to things that people would necessarily close their eyes to, okay? So even in that, make sure that whatever opportunities come up to you, that you have an open mindset. Because, not only do I want you to be spiritually free, mentally free, emotionally free, I'm very much a person that wants people to be financially free. But a lot of times we have gone to the place where we're afraid to take risks, we're afraid to step out. But I really believe there's about to be this transfer, of wealth. And a lot of times, because other people try to do sneaky stuff, it turns us off to it when there's actually an opportunity behind it with somebody that's honest. And so just keep your eyes open. Don't be afraid, because this is just to help you out, because this is definitely another portion of what I do. But this is just to help you out, that understand that if I would have went to your great-great-great-grandmother back in the day and brought a plastic card and say, Grandma, listen, in a few years you'll be able to slide this card and you'll actually be able to purchase groceries and stuff, she'd be like, that's crazy. Card? No, you do these cash, you do these coins. Everything's going digital. We're online digitally. We shop online digitally. Everything's digitally. So don't you think your money would go digitally too? Ooh. Watch what the bank's doing. They do stuff behind your back. And I tell people, and it's just to expose some things. And real talk, the government has lied to you. Religion has lied to you. I ain't even going to sugarcoat it. Religion has lied to you. Banks have lied to you. Even what they do with your money. And they making money off of it. Sis, bro, listen. Just open up your eyes to digital money. And look, it's more than just Apple Pay, okay? That's more. I'm telling you, be a part. Yes, yeah. Yes,
stuff like that. Okay.
Yes,
I got you.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm reading it.
Yeah, and so people, people just keep their eyes closed and they're afraid to take the risk, and because of that, they miss the movement. I wish I would have been a part of Amazon, because you think digital shopping,
right?
Everything's going digital. I mean, even.
But look what is that now? Ooh, we were just talking about Amazon.
I know, and that's what I'm saying.
Even, for real.
Even one of the CEOs of Amazon and of Chewy.com, for animals and stuff, told GameStop, they said, listen, if you don't go digital soon, you'll end up like a Blockbuster. You don't see Blockbusters
at all
because nobody has VHSs and all that stuff. So GameStop is actually going digital in a couple of things. So I'm talking about buying stocks and buying
that was
cryptos.
going crazy. That was good. GameStop was on fire.
But wait till you see what's about to happen, because they're actually coming out with something But that's what I'm saying. Unless you search for it, you know, you will never discover it. You have to be looking, keeping your eyes open. A lot of times we walk around and our eyes are closed. You know, our eyes are seriously closed. But I'm talking about open up your eyes to something that they might not see right now, but you see it. Like, I see it right now happening, you know, and so with that being said, just don't close your eyes off to things that are taking place, because
keep your eyes open.
I'm telling you, keep your eyes open. Keep them open. Look, I'm serious.
Yes.
I will never, and I said that I will never allow any type of or religion, banks, government, stuff like that. I will never allow myself to be lied to again. I'm gonna look for the truth. Even the media, to be honest, the news, they make you focus on certain things, and they doing stuff behind closed doors. Let me tell you, the banks were talking about that, saying, "Oh, it ain't what it is,"
because they want.
Because
they on them, you
exactly.
know?
They want the price to drop.
Yes.
How about they have put on the news? Oh, it's, you know, Bitcoin's a scam. All this stuff. How about if you go look up J.P. Morgan, all them? How about you can, because it's very transparent. You can see that they actually purchased a big bunch.
Of
so
course.
that's why I say you do the opposite of what they say. Do the opposite of what they say.
And keep your eyes open.
Exactly. Keep them open. I'm telling you. Look, I want to help.
Yes.
I want to seriously be like a Moses and help set people financially free. And all you got to do is keep your eyes open. Just keep your eyes open.
Right.
Watch what they do. Watch what they do. And I'm serious. Just keep your eyes open. Just keep your eyes open, okay?
That's the word.
Yeah.
Keep your eyes open. Toast to
Definitely.
you, Miss Lady
Thank
Queen.
you. Thank you.